Good morning, everyone. Prof, good morning to you. Before I come to you, I need to greet our viewers. Thank you all so much for tuning in this morning. I'm sure you can't wait for what we have in store for you today. Yes, I am excited about it. Thank you all so much. This is SonRise. So good to have you guys. Prof, good morning to you. How are you today?
Good morning, Bibi. I feel a little bit blue because I just realized that I'm just at the bottom of your list. You had to say good morning to everybody else before saying to me. Well, it's all good.
Prof, don't feel like that. You know, the thing is, we are both in the same place, right? But our viewers are on the other side. And the fact that they've woken up this morning very early, I'm sure some people haven't even had their bath. They haven't had breakfast. They haven't had anything. And they're so excited about SonRise. They want to come and watch the show. So, of course, I had to give them that preference, you know, just to start with. But yeah, don't worry. Next week, you get the greetings first.
Well, if you put it that way, I see what you mean. And it's okay. I'm happy to share the limelight with our viewers. But hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Zuby Okemefuna, and I'm here on SonRise, your favorite Sunday morning show with the ever-smiling BBJ.
Yes, see, I forgot to mention my name there even. Yes, I guess everyone knows my name now. Yes, it is BBJ. Thank you all for joining. Prof, you look well today. I think we're both sporting the same black and black. I didn't get the memo.
Right.
Of course. I didn't get the memo. See, the Bible says that if you eat together, is it the Bible that says it? I don't know. Well, yeah, you eat together, you become kind of together, or birds of the same feather.
You just made that up, didn't you? You just made that up.
Yes, I have to start writing some quotes, you know, because there's so many things I make up these days. Yeah, but yes, it's so good to have you on the show again this morning, Prof. So today we have quite a lot to go through, and I'm sure our viewers are as expectant as we are as well, because I mean, even though we're bringing it to you, we are also expectant. Just looking forward to what you guys have got to say and how you're going to contribute to this. So, Prof, over to you.
Yeah. Just before we get started on today's topic, I wanted to say, I know that last week we talked about the US elections, in fact, for the last couple of weeks, and I know that generated quite a bit of interest. But of course, there's a lot more to talk about than that, and it's going to rumble on for a few weeks yet. So what I'd like to say to anyone who's hoping we will continue the same conversation today, don't worry, we've got a forum on hotr.org.uk/forums. If you go there, find SonRise, post your comments, and we can continue that conversation there. And no doubt, when we get closer towards inauguration and so forth in January, there'll be a lot more to talk about regarding the US elections. But for today, there's something else that is a lot closer to home, right? That we would like to talk about. Isn't that the case, Billy?
That is absolutely right, Prof. Absolutely right. And what can that be if not the vaccine? I mean, it went live on the 8th of December. That was on Tuesday, right? I actually watched the first woman to take it on TV, and I mean, for a moment, I was like, ooh, I'm sure she must be feeling some kind of, I mean, she was really excited about it. She was like, oh, you know, she was so glad when she was approached and she couldn't wait. I mean, she's a 95-year-old woman or a 90-year-old woman, or I think 95. And and it was pretty, I mean, I don't know. I had mixed emotions about it. So I don't even know, even up to now, I don't know how I'm feeling about it. And I've got a couple of questions to ask you, Prof, because viewers, you do know this, that Prof is an in-house doctor. So he knows about this vaccine than anyone else I've met so far. So I prepared a few questions for you just to talk about this vaccine a little bit more. Seeing now that it's live, it's being given to people now. Everyone is taking, I mean, not everyone, the people who are taking it. But of course, there are some people who will fall into the categories of the people that are meant to take it first, that will still not want to take it for one reason or the other. So I was going to just ask you a couple of questions. And my first question, I had to write it down because I didn't want to forget. I want to make sure I get it right. And as I said, there are people that will fall into that category of people who are able to collect NAT to take the vaccine now, but are choosing not to take it. Is there anything wrong in not wanting to take the vaccine?
That's a deep question you've asked there, Bibi. And just to just before I answer, just to clarify to people listening, I know you said I'm the in-house doctor. That is correct, but my doctorate is not it's not a medical or, so to speak, a physician doctorate. I have a PhD, so more of a scientist, which is actually quite relevant to this kind of conversation, because of course that's where all of the stuff starts. So, yes, is there anything wrong with somebody saying they don't want to take the vaccine? I think that in order to answer that question, I would say let's look at that question from two perspectives. Okay, the first perspective being the reason, right? The underlying reason for that decision, and the second perspective being the impact of that reason or of that decision on other people.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, our kind of constitutions, when I say constitutions, I mean not just in the UK, but really across the world, at least in most cases, enshrine as sacred the fundamental right of people to express themselves, to be free in making choices and making their decisions, right?
Yeah.
And so, of course, as long as that right remains, it's a God-given right, okay? Even God does not take away that right from us. As long as that right remains, then fundamentally, people should be free to make a decision regarding anything, whatever it is, right? That's on the one hand, okay? On the other hand, if I actually refer back to the sermon, the messages that Pastor Temi has been preaching, or he preached in November around freedom, the exercise of one's freedom is right and proper in so much as it does not infringe on another person's freedom. Okay, so he talked about this idea of freedom without boundaries being a myth, and it's something to think about. So we can exercise our choice, our decision through choice, but of course, often those choices affect other people. And then there is the moral burden of those choices that we make, right? So what do I mean? It's one thing saying that, you've gone to see a GP and they say, you know what, you've got your appendix, it's looking very, tender, and we would like to take it out. And you'd say, no, I'm convinced that I should not have a major surgery, so I would not allow you to take out my appendix. I'm going to pray about it, or whatever decision, if I perish, I perish, as some people do.
That's right. Yeah.
Right? So that's one thing. It's just you it affects. Okay, it may affect other people around you emotionally, if whatever happens, but it's just you it affects. That's one thing. It's another thing if you're carrying an infectious disease, which could infect other people, and then you go and see a GP and they say, you know what, we have a way to treat you, right, to prevent you from falling ill, but also to prevent you from giving this to other people. And then you say, no, I don't want to take that treatment. You see that these are two slightly different things.
That's right.
Because one has an impact on other people. So I would just say there will be valid reasons for people to decide they don't want to take the vaccine, right? The question is always why. I don't think that believing that there is some conspiracy or some plan to I don't know. I don't really want to go down.
Don't even get me started on the conspiracy one.
But I just don't think that's enough reason, right, to make a decision that could impact other people, right? There are valid reasons. I'm not going to give those reasons, so people won't say I'm giving them reasons. But just like anything else, there will be a very valid reason for somebody to say, I don't want to do an appendectomy. There's a very valid reason for somebody to say, I have a headache, I don't want to take Panadol. That the doctors have said, or the medical recommendation is a blood transfusion, and I've decided I don't want it. There are very valid reasons. And when you have the conversations around these reasons, you see that these reasons are consistent, internally consistent. These reasons align with reality, and you can actually see that this is a certainly valid decision to make based on information available. That's completely different from subscribing to stories and doctrines that really, when you explore them, you cannot justify them. I think that when people make decisions that would affect other people, say their children and their children's children, based on these things, you really have to take it seriously. So what's my answer? In essence, you have a right to say no. The question always has got to be, why are you saying no, right? And you need to be fully persuaded and be confident, be sure that the reason on the basis of which you're saying no is one that is actually valid and defensible.
Thank you very much for that, Prof. So in essence, what you're saying is that make sure that you are making your decision from an informed view. So you have looked at it. Why don't I want to take it? This is the reason, and you're satisfied with your own decision, not because somebody says, do you know, because I've been seeing some memes online, like people would, there's so many things after taking the first dose, they look funny and all of those things. I mean, those things
that is all ridiculous stuff, right? A lot of this stuff
I know. And you know what? This tells you the power, these things that we see, the information that we have readily available to us, the power they have on our minds. Because, do you know, for someone who keeps watching those things, what do you expect will happen to them? They won't want to give any chance to the vaccine, because what they'll be thinking is there is something wrong with this vaccine. If I take it, something is going to happen to me. So thank you so very much, Prof. Thank you for that. That was really good. I mean, well, viewers, as Prof said, make sure that you're informed. Just know your why. Why don't you want to take it? So there isn't any wrong or right answer to this in terms of whether you should take it or not, but just know what is your why. Why do I have to take this? And why am I'm choosing not to take it? So thank you very much, Prof. I have another question for you, and I hope that we can answer this very quickly because it will be beneficial to our viewers. And this is on what the government have said regarding this vaccine. So they've said that we expect to still be in lockdown till spring 2021. I mean, if we have a vaccine now and people are beginning to take it, why do we have to wait on, why are we still going to be in lockdown till spring 2021? Do you know why that is the case?
Well, I guess when you say lockdown, I guess you mean things will not return to normal, because of course lockdown varies and the level of restrictions will vary. So I guess it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, right? And I know we said that when it comes to vaccines, or when it comes to any decision, really, you know, it may not be about wrong or right. You need to be convinced about why you're making the decision. I just want to but I also want to say that it is our moral responsibility to make the right choice, right? And in making that right choice, we have to make sure that we're not being swayed unnecessarily, swayed by things that are not true and not right. So we need to make the right choice. And if there is a choice that would help to protect the people around you and protect you, whether it's wearing a mask, a face mask, whether it's staying at home, whether it's, quarantining, all of these things fall within the same bracket.
That's
you need to make the right choice. So, going back to the question you asked, it's the complexity of the process, right? So think about it. This current vaccine that we're talking of, the Pfizer-BioNTech one, in order to have a full treatment, you have to have 2 doses, okay?
Yeah.
21 days, at least 21 days apart. At least, so it could be longer. And then the effectiveness of that vaccine may not actually take place another 7 days after the second dose. So you're talking of 28 days there, right?
Wow.
Now that means that for each person that takes the vaccine, you may not see the impact, the effect of that vaccine for 1 month, right? For 4 weeks.
That's right.
That's one person. So imagine the first person that took it on the 8th of December. So that's already taken you into January before you may actually see the effect of that. Now, that's number one. Number two, now think about the logistics of getting the vaccines out, right? Getting the right number of doses for of the vaccines, getting those vaccines to the people that need them. So think of what happens along the supply chain that enables that to happen. So that introduces another level of delay. So think of the rollout in England and Scotland, in Wales, Northern Ireland, all of these places. So that's number two. And then number three, when the vaccine itself is being administered, there's also a level of complexity associated with it. It's frozen, okay? So it's not like, so when it's frozen, it has to be transported very carefully, and then it has to be thawed, it has to be reconstituted, it has to be put into the syringe or into the injector, and it has to be, so all of this stuff takes time, right? And it's because it's biologic, you have to kind of handle it carefully, like pretty much any other vaccine that we know. Now, most of us have taken vaccines before, but we never saw this sort of delay because vaccines were not given in the middle of a pandemic, right? They were given on demand. So this is kind of similar, standard stuff when it comes to vaccines. And that delay, unfortunately, means that from now until when you can get enough of a coverage across the entire population to actually now give you the confidence that everything can go back to normal, that will take a good few months before you can get there.
Well, I think, do you know what, Prof? I don't know why you're not on BBC trying to help the government to explain all of these things to us, because
they have capable people.
No, because the thing is, it's like they come on there and they say different things, and you're like, okay, yes, you've told us, yes, we have to wait till spring 2020. But if they had explained it the way you just explained it, it would have been so easy, everyone will understand it. So now we know. Before now, they were saying the vaccine is coming in, and once we have the vaccine, yes, everything is hunky-dory. But now you're explaining why we can't actually return to normal, if there's anything like normal again ever, But I mean, that's because of all the process that has to take place in terms of this vaccine and storage and all of that. Anyway, Prof, thank you so much for this. This has been really, really, really good. I hope our viewers, you also agree with me that Prof has done good justice. He's done justice to this vaccine subject on this show.
Oh, I'm sure there are questions. I'm sure there are questions coming up.
Yes.
But,
and that's the thing. That's what I like. That's what we actually want. We want people to ask questions. So I'm asking these questions because these are questions that I have got myself. So of course, this is why I ask the viewers as well. If you have any question, please just drop them on the forum. We'll get back to you. Prof is always there anyway, so we'll respond to the questions. So thank you all very much, and Prof, over to you now.
Well, it's time for our Spotlight Minute, and I think we have a special guest today, so don't go anywhere. The guest is just coming in right now.
Hello, the one and only Sister Penny. For today, you are Sister Penny. Thank you so much for joining us.
You make me sound old as Sister Penny. Please, Penny is fine.
That means Penny. I'm going to be calling you Sister Penny today. Then.
No, do you understand? Sister Penny. So let's just call you Sister Penny so that at least you know where you stand. Do you understand?
No. I stand with the kids.
Help us to make welcome. Make welcome our Sister Penny for today, for joining us on the show. See how you're looking all good. Please, that hair, can you send it over to me, please? Thank you so much, sis.
No problem now. I make hair, I make everything. Right
you
now,
see, that's why you see why you not Sister Penny then.
No.
Don't worry. Let's not worry about that. I'm sure everyone in the comment section send messages.
It sounds to me like you've got a lot, to be grateful for, because you just said exactly. So maybe we should chip in there. You know what we've been doing this month, our month of gratitude, December, and we're having our gratitude challenge. So why don't we, get you? You're on the spotlight, under the spotlight, right? So, Penny. Yeah, I'll spare you this, sister. Penny, can you tell us, right? Over the next, few seconds or so, what are you grateful for? What's the one thing that you want to say thank you to God for?
This year, I'm grateful for a lot of things. It's not how we wanted the year to be, especially saying that I just turned 40. A few months ago. But I had big plans. for my 40th with my twin sister and so many things. But obviously everything happened. But in all that, I give thanks. I am very grateful to God that we are still standing. I do not take it for granted that there are so many people out there that have not seen the end of the year. And I continue to pray that I will see the end of the year. And for that, I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for a lot of things. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my friends that are still, close friends. They're still alive. I still talk to them. So there's a lot to be grateful for. There's a lot to be sad about, but there is a lot to be grateful for. So for that, I am grateful. I'm grateful for being a year younger and everything else. But yeah, I'm grateful for life. In summary, I am grateful for life.
Absolutely. Well done. Well, only that you didn't say that you're grateful for me. But
no,
anyway,
never. I can't say that.
You're not in the spotlight, Bibi. Come on, get over it. She is in the spotlight. So, talking about the spotlight, maybe we should get to that spotlight minute.
Yes. Let's go on to the spotlight minute. You know how this is, right? But I'll just tell you the rules of the game again. So you're here this morning. Thank you so much for coming. We do have a record that is yet to be broken, and me, myself, and Tokes the guy, are reigning for the time being. So we've answered 7 questions under 30 seconds. So now we'd like to see whether you can break that record. So all you need to do is just to answer maybe 8 questions, but I'd say try and keep it to below 7 so that I can still keep the stuff. Okay. And so as we do it, Prof will read out the questions to you. I will time us so that you know when your time is up and when we start and when your time is up. And if you ask any questions and you're not sure about, you want him to repeat it, you can say maybe repeat, but that will eat into your time. So best thing would be pass, and then he can ask you another question. Okay.
Right.
So are you ready for us?
Yeah.
So the time starts now.
What did you want to grow up when you were a child?
An accountant.
What's the most favorite site on the internet?
Google.
Favorite sport?
Nothing.
Favorite food?
Ikpankukwo.
What was your first concert?
Usher.
Your favorite band?
Take that.
Time up. Time up. Time up. Time up.
I think this was my fault.
It's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's how the questions were worded. No.
How do you come here and want to beat me?
It's not
That
my
was
fault.
his question.
What was your favorite food? What was that you said?
Ikpankukwo.
Is the food?
It's a Calabar dish.
Okay.
Yes.
Is the food Prof is interested in? You answered 6 questions. That was so good. I was thinking, oh my God, you can't get 7. You shouldn't get 7. No.
No, disclaimer. Prof was very slow.
She has to come back. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
See,
I laughed.
well done.
Good.
Well done. Well done to you. Honestly, well done. That was so good. Yes, as Prof said, you have to come back. So for today, I mean, I don't, as long as I'm still the one winning, I'm not going to accept anyone to have a rematch on the same day. So you're going to have to do it another day, okay? So thank you so much, Penny, for joining us this morning. Thank you. I hope you've had fun.
Thank you.
for having me.
So
Thank you.
we'll see you soon again. Take care of yourself and bye.
All
Don't
right.
forget to send my hair. Wow. That was good. Well, it was good for me because
I put up my hands. Yes, sorry, Penny.
Penny failed to break the record. So yes, thank you very much, Penny. And thank you, Prof, for just putting up your hand for that. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us again this morning. Prof, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Bibi. So yeah, I hope you've all enjoyed the time. I certainly have enjoyed myself. You saw me doubling over in laughter there. And we've had a great time. But we're at that time of the morning again where we start to look forward to the service. No doubt we all know this month of December, we've been looking at gratitude. We've been talking about gratitude. And even last week at our life groups, we talked about gratitude. We looked at why we need to be grateful. Of course, at the service and even the Wednesday service as well, this whole topic of gratitude has been coming up. The point is, if you don't already know it, this is the season to be grateful. Christmas is coming. There's a lot that's going on. You know, vaccines here. People are celebrating their 40th birthdays. A lot to be grateful for. And for us as well, we are very grateful for having you join us this morning. As we look forward and we join the service coming up right after this, come with us and see you on the other side as we fellowship together again. God bless you. Enjoy the rest of your day.